नमस्कार, मी रवींद्र बोंद्रे यूट्यूब चॅनलवर आपले सहर्ष स्वागत करत आहे. तर आपण याच्या आधी बघितलं होतं इन सब्जेक्ट सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी 2 वी हॅव सीन अंडर द युनिट लाईफ प्रोसेसेस इन लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम्स. Yesterday we have seen meiosis 1 and today we have to see meiosis 2, the last topic of this chapter. So in meiosis 1, meiosis is the type of reproduction where type of cell division where chromosome number reduced to half. We have seen, and this meiosis 1 is lengthy. Prophase 1, prophase, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. We have seen. This is the last phase, telophase 1. So to continue with this is the last phase where two daughter cells are formed from a single cell, and hence these cells are haploid cells. From a diploid cell, two haploid cells are formed. That is the telophase 1. And now today we have to see meiosis 2. This meiosis 2 is also in two phases. First one is karyokinesis 2 and second one is cytokinesis 2. Again, what is karyokinesis? What is cytokinesis? You know, the division of nucleus is called karyokinesis and division of cytoplasm is called cytokinesis. First, karyokinesis. And meiosis 2 is nothing but mitosis, as we have seen earlier. So all the phases of meiosis 2 are same to that of mitosis, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. But the headings are, the first heading is prophase 2. Prophase 2. Now what are the changes that takes place in prophase 2? We shall see. Now already here two daughter cells are formed. We will draw two daughter cells. There is a short time limit in between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So just after formation of telophase, cytokinesis takes place. Two daughter cells are formed. We have seen yesterday, and immediately it enter in the meiosis 2 in this phase and in prophase 2. The first stage, prophase 2. Here now this centriole start to divide. Here nuclear membrane and nucleolus start to disappear. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus start to disappear. Then here is chromosome. Same chromosome as we have seen yesterday. These are haploid chromosomes. Now this is nuclear membrane disappears, nucleolus disappeared, and this is the chromosome. Now these are recombinant chromosomes. We have seen pachygyny. There is a genetic recombination or genetic exchange takes place in between non-sister chromatids. And here so this is all about prophase 2, where nuclear membrane disappears, nucleolus start to disappear, in both cell, and then we will enter in metaphase 2. Now in this metaphase, nuclear membrane completely disappears. See the diagram. Now what is this? Here it is cell membrane. Now this is centriole, which is dividing, and these are chromosome. And what is this? This is called centromere. Now as we enter from prophase to metaphase, as usual we have seen the centriole, they migrate to their respective pole, one at the top pole, one at the bottom pole, in both same. Here is the first change. Nuclear membrane now completely disappears. So instead of nuclear membrane, and here this chromosome remain in the center as it is. Now this is chromosome in the center. Here also same stage, chromosome is in the center. Like this. And here what are formed? The chromatin fibers are formed. Chromatin fibers. This starts from centriole of both pole, and this chromosome is held in the center or equatorial plate, equator, with the help of these chromatin fibers. The same case takes place in the lower cell. These are chromatin fibers which are made up of special types of proteins. So this is the metaphase. Then next is anaphase 2. Now here, this is the important stage where these centromeres split and daughter chromosomes are now separated. So here, this is the first cell, the second cell. Now look, daughter chromosomes are now this centromere, and these are chromatids. Now it divides into two. So as it divides, so two daughter chromosomes are formed, and these chromosomes are look like this. Here, so from a single chromosome, two daughter chromosomes are formed due to splitting up of centromere. The same case here in the lower cell. These are centrioles. This is the newly divided chromosome. Then here in the second, So these are daughter chromosomes which are newly formed and they are held here with the help of chromatin fibers. So these are chromatin fibers. These are daughter chromosomes which are formed by splitting up of centromere, and these chromosomes are attracted toward their respective poles. This chromosome toward the upper pole, this chromosome toward the lower pole. Same case takes place here, and this is called anaphase 2. And the last stage is telophase 2. Telophase 2. The last phase, telophase. Now what happens here? Two cells we shall show like this. One on left side, one on right side. Here we have some one on the top, one at the bottom. Now here on left and right side, the same cells, daughter cells. Now what happens? These cells are pulled in telophase. We have seen telophase is the reverse of prophase. In prophase, nuclear membrane disappears, nucleolus disappears. In telophase, both reappears. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus reappear. So this is the newly formed nuclei. Now these are what are called centrioles, and here nucleolus reappears, and here is chromosome. Here are chromosomes. And these chromosomes are recombinant chromosomes. So this is telophase. So now there are 4 daughter nuclei are formed, 2 in first cell, 2 in other cell, and it is followed by the second stage called cytokinesis, because there is the end of karyokinesis. So from 2 nuclei, 4 daughter nuclei are formed. These are 2 nuclei. From 2 nuclei, 4 daughter nuclei are formed. That is called karyokinesis. And here it is followed by cytokinesis, where what is formed? A notch is formed in the center. It is called notch. This notch on left side and right side, it enter in the towards center like this, and a stage comes where they are separated and 4 daughter cells are formed like this. And all these daughter cells are haploid, because in meiosis 2 or mitosis, chromosome number is constant, and hence the haploid chromosome number maintains same like this. So here what happens? Though these chromosomes are separated, but their chromosome number is same. It is not changed. Just they split and these daughter chromosomes are formed without changing their chromosome number. These are also haploid. These are also haploid. So from a single cell 4 haploid from a single diploid cell, 4 haploid daughter cells are formed in meiosis. So that is all about meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Today we are seeing meiosis 2 under karyokinesis 2 because 2 and cytokinesis 2. In karyokinesis 2, from 2 nuclei, 4 daughter nuclei are formed, and cytokinesis from 2 cells, 4 daughter cells are formed. So that is all about the meiosis 2. Then there are some questions for you asked in the book on page number 20, and we shall see these questions one by one under the heading use your brain power. So the first question under use your brain power is, what do you mean by diploid cell? Diploid cell is shown by twice young. A diploid cell is that in which chromosome number is doubled. For example, simple example, in human being, chromosome number is 46. So there are 23 pairs. So 46 is the double number, and this number is always constant. So it is always in diploid state. That is called diploid cell. Second question, what do you mean by haploid cell? So haploid cell is that cell which is shown by single N where chromosome number is reduced to half, and this chromosome number is reduced to half by meiosis. So that is called haploid cell. Then third, what do you mean by homologous chromosomes? We have seen yesterday homologous chromosomes means the chromosomes which are of same size and in which genetic material is also same are called homologous chromosome. For example, again in human being there are 46 chromosomes and 23 pairs. Suppose, for example, this is the first pair. These are homologous chromosomes. One chromosome from paternal, one chromosome is from maternal, means from male parent, one chromosome is from female parent. So these are homologous chromosomes. They are of same, their shape is same, and their genetic constitution is also same. So that is called homologous chromosomes, and hence there is pairing between homologous chromosomes. So such 23 pairs are there in each nucleus of human being, cell of human being. Then fourth one is where the gametes are diploid or haploid. Gametes are always haploid, but the cells that form gametes are diploid. But after formation of gametes, these gametes are always haploid. Why? For example, again in human being, sperms are called male gametes and egg cells are called female gametes. So when this sperm and egg cell 23 chromosome number, 23 chromosome number means they are diploid, haploid. But when there is union of male gamete with female gamete to form a zygote, this zygote is now diploid and number is now 46. So these gametes unite by a process called fertilization and zygote is formed. That is, this zygote is a diploid zygote, and from this zygote a new individual is formed. It may be a male or a boy, or it may be a female, a girl, and hence gametes are always haploid. Next question, how are the haploid cells formed? Haploid cells are formed, just we have seen, by a process of meiosis, where chromosome number is reduced to half and they are shown by single N. And the last question, what is the significance of haploid cells? Suppose there are no haploid cells, what will be happen in the animal life. What happens? Large number of changes. So it will be against the nature. काय होईल? Suppose there are no haploid cells. Then if suppose there is no meiosis, then these sperms and egg cells, they do not have 23 number. They have 46 number. 46 male, 46 female, and then when they combine, their chromosome number increase by 92. And every generation this chromosome number is doubled and lot of problems are created. But it is never happens. Why? Because of meiosis and reduction division and formation of male and female gametes, which are always, these are always haploid, and hence what happens? Chromosome number is always maintained. It is never changed. 46 is the chromosome number of all the human beings, and in every generation it is maintained just by formation of the reduction division or meiosis, and hence haploid cells are most important. So that is all about today's topic and the chapter. So we have finished this chapter, life processes in living organisms, part 1. So that is all about for this chapter. Thanks a lot, and stay at home and stay healthy. Thanks.